Good evening, everybody. I hope that you've had a wonderful day. Let me take these off just a second. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Hope everything has been well for you. I got a chance to get out and run around, do a little bit of errand running today, and enjoyed the weather. The breeze was really nice. I don't know about y'all, but I've already turned on the air conditioner, which probably is not a good idea with these allergies and all this other stuff that's flying around, but it was hot to me, y'all. But anyway, my name is Wonder Lowe, and I'm the host and the creator of the Ladies Lounge with Wonder Lowe. So, welcome tonight. If you've never watched the show before, I don't know what to tell you to expect. We talk about a little bit of everything. Our main focus, though, is to empower, educate, and encourage women to live their best lives. So, we try to always have some information that can help you do that. Right now, do me a huge, huge favor. If you haven't already, I want you to go over to our page, the Lady Sound Wonder Low, and I want you to like the page. Then I want you to share. I want you to like this video and also share this with your friends and your family, other women that you think might get a kick out of watching the show and participating. The other thing I want you to do tonight is to make sure that you chime in. We're going to be talking about um, all the stuff that's been going on since the pandemic, kind of just doing a sister to sister check in with a couple of ladies that I call friends and co. I don't know what we call each other. We're friends, cohorts, associates, confidants. We can talk to each other pretty much about anything, and I love to have them on the show because they always add a good punch and a good round of conversation for us. But if you haven't already, again, like I said, like it, share it, make sure you subscribe. We're also on YouTube. So if you would go over to YouTube right now, if you're watching there, and click the subscribe button and also hit that little bell so you can get a notification whenever new videos are posted. Last week, I think I cooked for y'all. And I'll be doing that again tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. So make sure you tune in again for tomorrow night for the Ladies Lounge, and it'll be May Rose Cafe Live. And I'll explain to you why I call it May Rose Cafe tomorrow. But you have to come over and watch the show. Also, if you are interested in cooking along with me, go to the page and find that post, and I'll repost it again tonight. We're making macaroni and cheese now, and I know you're going, everybody know how to make macaroni and cheese. Of course they do, but everybody always got their own recipe. So I'll be sharing that tomorrow night, but along with some bonus things in there. So don't think you're just coming for regular old macaroni and cheese. It'll be some bonus things added to it. So make sure that you tune in. Again, that'll be the Lady Sound Wonder Low Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And that'll be May Rose Cafe Live. So we'll be cooking up some tasty treats, and I'll be telling you a couple of little stories and hopefully entertaining you while we cook our food together. So hopefully you'll be able to grab your grocery list and get to the store and grab your ingredients and be ready to cook up some good stuff. Let's see. Like I said, tonight's show is about a sister to sister check in. And I call it that because, again, these ladies are ladies that I've uh, kept in contact with all year. We've talked all during the pandemic, and there's so much stuff going on. And if you're like most other people, the pandemic has affected you in some amazing ways because I see a lot of people starting businesses and doing new things, writing books. Oh my God, the number of women I've seen write books. And we have an author that's going to be on the show, so she'll be able to give us some tips on that. The number of women that are writing books, the number of women that are producing shows now. You know, I watch other shows other than mine. Actually, y'all know I don't watch my show and I don't listen to me, but I listen to other people. I know this sounds weird. I have a weird country accent, and it's funny to hear me talk. So I like to be entertained by other folks' accents instead of mine. But it's just so many things going on. Now, the opposite of those amazing things that are happening is also we're being bombarded by videos of just unimaginable violence against us in the streets. We're also seeing a lot of things that are happening with the kids in school. We're seeing education breakdowns. We're seeing just things happen on a city, state, county, country level that are absolutely, some things are just shocking, that are shocking us to our core and that are rocking our world to its core. So, we've lost people during the pandemic and not being able to grieve the same way and not being able to spend time with family members the same way. So it's a lot of different things going on. And we're going to try to touch on a lot of those things tonight. So Please pull up your chair, get you a beverage out, like and share this video if you can. Start a watch party and join in. I mean, we have a conversation. We have a comment box over there. If you want to add something to the conversation, you want to post a question, we'll be more than happy for you to do so. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest tonight. And we have a full house, and we have one on the way. And hopefully, she'll be able to jump in before we get off tonight. So, my first guest, this is my information guru. I have a couple of them, but she's one of actually all four of these folks are information gurus to me. This lady works in the field where she is dealing with a huge hop in her services right now. And she works with people who are in human trafficking or who have been trafficked, I should say, in helping them to restart their lives and to get into a better situation. So, welcome to the Ladies Lounge, Miss Cassania Vincent.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. All right. And the next lady, again, I can tell you, all these ladies have a lot of information to share, and they always keep me on my toes about what's going on. This next lady, she does something very similar, except for she works in the area of, and I'm going to mess this up because y'all know I'll mess up a name and a title in a hot second. So I'm going to let her say it once she's in and we get everybody in. But Sarah Rudolph Pollard. And I have to say Sarah Rudolph Pollard because she will correct me if I don't. But I want to welcome her tonight. She is an amazing woman who has plenty of information on this, what's going on with other things in our communities as far as domestic violence and things. So welcome, Miss Sarah.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, ma'am. My next buddy, oh my God, this is my ride or die right here. This is who I call and bug the crap out of in the middle of the night, in the morning, whenever. This is my lunch buddy, whatever. If I need it, she got it, we got it, and we doing it. And she has been a friend ever since our American Heart Association volunteer days. She worked me to death, y'all. I just have to say that. She used to work us to death, but I enjoyed every moment of it. She is now retired, but I still count on her for information and to be there. And she's a really good friend. So welcome to the Ladies Lounge, Miss Marilyn Clark.
Hello, thank you, everybody.
All right. Now this lady is blowing completely up. When I say a book writing machine, she getting out there. And when I'm saying that I'm seeing these women writing books, I should just say this. She done wrote half of them books I've seen. Every other week, this child pumping out a book some kind of way. And she does it so quickly and so professionally, and the books are awesome. They're full of information. Matter of fact, she has a business called You Are a Resource, and she definitely is exactly that. And I'm always happy to have her in the Ladies Lounge. So welcome to Miss Latonya Bynum.
Hi, everybody. Hi, ladies.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
All right, ladies. I'm so glad. And we have one lady that's coming. Hopefully she'll be able to get in before, like I said, we get off. She's actually just leaving work. So her schedule is, that's a hard working sister. That's all I can tell you. That's a hard working sister. She always on the move. Let me text her back and tell her, okay, we're waiting on you. So hopefully she'll be able to jump on and we'll get to hear from her also. So let me just start off by asking this very big general question. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
You want the truth or you want the
I want the truth.
you want the truth?
I want the truth.
Well, I'll go first. I can honestly say that I'm so happy the world is starting to open back up. I'm not ready to just go back out there. I'm just kind of waiting.
Mhm.
Kind of in the background and see what's going to happen. But being in this pandemic, it's been like a self-reflection moment for me. I don't know about the other ladies, but it's really been a time where I'm like, who am I? What do I want to do? And just being closed in, and not just closed in, but more open to all of the opportunities and possibilities for just book writing and just going on this journey. But I would say I'm happy that the world is opening back up. I got my 2 shots, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. How about the rest of y'all?
Go ahead.
It for me, it's been I can relate to, and this her name is so small I can't see it.
Latanya.
Latanya, okay. I can relate to Latanya in is that I've had a lot of time for some self-reflection.
Mm-hmm.
God has shown me quite a few things. I am well, God confirmed some things for me as far as my ministry goes. And so I feel like I'm pretty solid in that. Yeah, things are opening back up, but I don't know if they should be opening up to the extent that they're opening. But that is what it is. I've had all of my shots are up to date. So, and I wear my mask. So, yeah.
What about the rest of y'all?
So for me, I also had a lot of Sonya time. And so God has been able to show me some things and some people, some that I needed to keep, some that I needed to get rid of. I've also had a lot of time to enjoy my house because I'm so busy running and doing things for other people. It's giving me a lot of time to just do me. And so I've been very appreciative of that. I've enjoyed being able to still spend that time one-on-one with my family. They're all safe, they're all healthy. And so I just feel blessed in the time that I have had. And even in the work that we do, the our director is very big on self-care, and so she made sure that we were all well taken care of during the pandemic, before and after. So I just feel blessed just to still be here.
Mm-hmm. Miss Marilyn?
And then finally, with me being the retired person, you think I'd really have all the time. But
No, you
I've
got
been
going.
blessed in one thing, in that none of my children lost their jobs or their incomes or any of that. So they've all
Amen.
been continuing to work.
Yes.
But the other side of that is I catch the mama, Elijah is at school having an asthma attack. Can you go get him? Or and all those kind of things. So I've done a lot of that. And I'm a little tired. I'm kind of glad things are opening back up. I'm not sure how fast we should go
Mm-hmm.
because people are still getting. As a matter of fact, we've got just almost 2 grandbaby, not a child. We got a little scare last night. They thought she had COVID. She had to go to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's still a little scary out there. But I am kind of glad we're getting out some, other than the grocery store.
Well,
That's the one place I need to stay away from.
me too.
Me
I
too.
almost can't afford it anymore.
Exactly. I think
Right.
I've been cooking more, which means I'm experimenting more. I'm spending more money at the grocery store because for one while that was my big outing for the week because that's the only place I went. If you had to go do anything, you went to the grocery store. If I had to go to the bank, I went to the bank. Other than that, I was in the house. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. So we've been working from home now for a year. And I'm like, you can only redecorate a wall so many times. You don't need, you see, if y'all seen that commercial, with the farmers, no, the one where the guy says that when the people grow up and buy a house and they turn into their parents, and he's telling the
Yeah.
woman, you don't need any more throw pillows. You could only buy so many throw pillows before it's like, where do I sit? So I'm about like y'all. It's good to be, to see everything opening back up, but I'm not really sure it should go so fast. I am one who has decided not to get the vaccination, so I still make sure that I keep my distance and I wear my mask and I wash my hands constantly anyway. So, but to each his own. All right. So, what are some of the things that you've been doing? I know Sonya said she's had a lot of Sonya time. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you've been doing just to, I guess, to keep your sanity? Because the other part of us being inside is that you're inside and we don't get the social, we hadn't been socializing like we usually do. So, what are some of the things you've been doing for self care and to keep your sanity?
For me, I'm a big reader, and so I've had an opportunity to read a lot of books. And watch TV when it's not watching me. So I've watched, and sometimes for me to decompress, I like to watch shows that are just nonsense because it just kind of takes me away from the stresses of dealing with other people in their lives. And that's a lot of hard work. It's hard work, but
Yep.
sometimes I just like to watch stuff that makes absolutely no sense just to kind of get outside of myself. So that's what I like to do.
Yep.
I can relate to that. Just watching stuff that doesn't make sense. One of my favorite things to watch is the sci-fi well, they used to come on sci-fi channels a lot and lost track, but it's always teenagers and they go off somewhere where they supposed to be, and the scary monster or scary guy takes them off one at a time. I guess that's kind of horrid, but anyway, it's funny because it's like, why would you drive over him? And all of them have that same kind of storyline, So it's like I don't have to think about anything. I know who's going to, taking off, and I know, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just mindless TV.
Natalia, you and Mary?
Yeah, I think for me, I don't watch a lot of TV. My husband, he loves watching the news. I try to stay away from it because to me, being closed in, being a remote worker, and just too much news, especially when it's about us, our people that look like me, I think it's an emotional trigger. So I try to stay away from the news, and I kind of get his input and draw my own conclusions from that. I believe that, before COVID, the pandemic, I was really working. I don't feel like I had a lot of time with my 3 children and my husband, but being trapped in here with them that first couple of months, I believe I got to know them a little bit better. Like when you're working and then you got school and then you come home, cook, then it's time to lay down. There's not really a lot of time to kind of talk and kind of get to know each other. So I do appreciate that part of just getting connected. I feel like, my 2 parents, like Marilyn, they're retired. They take their 12 o'clock noon naps, and just, after their nap is over, calling my mom and having deep conversations. Now that she's not attending church service regularly, I'm just listening to her and her wisdom and just having them deep conversations. So I think just deepening my relationships and kind of like Sonia was talking about, and cutting off all of those non-quality relationships that were really just kind of, something you were doing that really was meaningless. So just setting my boundaries for deep conversations. I feel like that has been the thing that keeps me sane the most. I don't want to talk to folks that ain't got nothing going, ain't talking about nothing.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like you guys. I've watched a lot of TV, and I do sci-fi, and I do Storage Wars.
Okay.
So that's something you don't have to think about. Other than sometimes you see something, you go, that costs a lot of money. It sure is ugly, but anyway, those kind of but as far as doing things for myself, I've not done a lot. As a matter of fact, my doctor asked me that last week. What have you been doing for yourself? And I thought, I've been running with these kids so much, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So
and it happens.
Yeah.
It
So
happens.
I'm stepping back, and I'm going to go back to work part-time, something just so I can talk to adults that are not related to me.
It's funny.
And
Well,
I
see,
do actually still do a lot of volunteer work. That's the other thing.
Well, see, I'm on the other end of the spectrum, is that I work alone, period. I'm at home by myself and I work by myself. And I am probably the only person in the country that is excited about having a Zoom staff meeting every week just so I can see people. Because you can only have so many conversations with Netflix. I'm just being honest. And I'm the person who watches movies and yell at the people about run. He over in the corner, duck
Mm-hmm.
at you, watching he finna shoot. I'm like, yeah, I'm that person. And it drives my husband crazy because the whole time I'm going, oh my God, did you not see the man in the corner? Get ready. And he going, they can't hear you. I'm like, but if I say it loud enough, they can because I'm bored. So I talk to the TV. So when I'm not bored and talking to the TV, I'm either writing because somebody, and I ain't gonna call no names, but Latanya told me I had to write all these books. So when I'm not watching TV and talking to it or cooking, I'm trying to finish these books so I don't get in trouble because she gonna get me if I don't. But I find myself, I've always been really good at being a loner. I've been a loner all my
Yeah.
life, basically. So I thought in the beginning, I'm like, man, it's gonna be easy. You don't have to deal with folks. You don't have to go nowhere. You don't have to put on real clothes. You ain't got to do your hair. Man, about 3 months into this thing, dude, I was about to lose it. I was
Mhm.
about to lose it. I'm like, I need to talk to people. I gotta find something to do. So y'all, it's been stressful. So let me ask you this now. So we know now I'm gonna fuss at y'all because we're supposed to take care of ourselves. And we did a show at the beginning of the month, last month, I think, about self care, about making sure that we take time for us, we decompress. And currently watching mindless TV is like look, I'm addicted to Netflix and Hulu. And don't let me find a series because I will binge watch it for days until I get to all of the all of the episodes of it. But we know we ain't been taking care of ourselves, but we haven't been taking self care enough time. So, what are some of the things that you feel like you've accomplished during the pandemic? What's some big things that you've been able to do because you had time to be still for a little while?
Personally, or
However, personally, professional,
so
however.
so one thing that I thought was big for me is I got to organize my closet. Because I would always say I got a couple of closets here
Uh-huh.
that are mine with shoes in both rooms. And so I'm like, I need to get rid of some of this stuff. And I never have the time. And so when the pandemic first hit, I went and I bought hangers and color coordinated. And those hangers set for about a month. And
Mhm.
I do nothing with them. And so one day I just went in there, and so I've been able to declutter and get rid of some stuff. A lot of it I couldn't fit anymore because I've been just sitting at home eating. But I
Mhm.
was able to get some of that stuff out of here, and it made me feel good to get rid of some things that I otherwise still would have been holding on to. It's pointless. I had new sets of dishes and things that I'm like, I haven't even used that. So I was able to get rid of it, give it to somebody else. Of course, my mom took pleasure in most of it because she was over here collecting everything that I was putting out. So now my dad is mad at me, but I was able to do that, and that made me feel better. So that was kind of a little self care because I got to declutter some stuff.
Mhm. Hey y'all, the other young lady just joined us. I didn't know she was backstage. So this lady, like I told y'all earlier, and I got to give her a little brief introduction. When I said the hardest working woman in Little Rock / Pine Bluff, other than the ones we're looking at right now, this woman is a working woman, and she just got off work and made it to the house and got on the show. So
At the
welcome
house.
to the lady house, Sister Rachel.
Hey,
Hello.
Rachel.
I'm not at the
Hey,
house. I'm at the office, insurance office.
Oh, you still at work? Bless your
This is
heart.
my second house, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Because that's where we live. I just say I live at my desk now, so you all
Right,
right. Well, let me give you
right.
a couple minutes just to kind of do a brief introduction about yourself. Tell us about what you had going on today, because
Oh my
you've been
goodness.
running, sister.
Oh wow. I was listening to you. I said, well, at least I can like chime in till I get my computer up. Well, I'm trying to get to my destination so I won't be lost
Hmm.
when I come in. So I've heard y'all conversation, so I'm not
Okay.
behind. Oh wow. Actually, we celebrated a awesome man from our church. He
Hmm.
passed away, Mr. Oh goodness, I just up here and lost the name for Mr.
Hmm.
McCoy,
Hmm.
um, and my Sora's husband,
Okay.
and so he passed away due to a car wreck, and
Oh,
so great
sorry.
man. So
Hmm.
we celebrated that earlier around my lunchtime. So But just enjoying still working for UAPB.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, help recruit our school agriculture, fisheries, human science degrees. 1890 scholarships we have available. Right now, we only have human sciences and aquaculture scholarships still available. All the agriculture scholarships for 2021 is has taken up for the fall, so that area is growing. Also, we have 18-9 extension programs where we do nutrition education, 4-H, and horticulture in in any type of a school setting, community setting. So if
Mm-hmm.
anybody knows for the summer, some of them doing on Zoom, but whatever we want to make it fit to the accommodation of whomever. We also have a new staff ed person that can come as well and go out. Sorry, y'all, and go out. Just a little ad lib. So, yeah, now, I hear y'all talking about the pandemic and what
Uh-huh.
we've done in the pandemic, what God's done for me in the pandemic. Actually, has given me time to continue to heal, allow God to make me whole and heal in the area of losing my mom this past year. Just April 3rd has been a year. It was very unexpectedly. Also, just being able to continue a little bit of more self care. So I found myself traveling a little more. I've always traveled, but when I get on the road, it's just does something for me,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just cooped up in the house. So I was able to go to the UAPB game, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I also wrote a policy of a young lady. And guess what? The lady was the front desk, and as I'm writing the policy,
Mm-hmm.
same birthday as my mom, July
Wow.
1st. I could have just like fell
Mm-hmm.
out. Like, this is God. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, connecting to other young ladies, building a mentorship area for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I am. I've started. It was so funny because I sent Wanda. And I was like, "I'm writing a book," and she was like, "I'm writing a book too." I was like, "Yay!"
Look, the book
So
queen is on the call or is on the show today. That's Latanya. So we're gonna get some
yeah,
tips in a few minutes.
yeah. So I'm actually right. I've actually got my cover uh, finalized as of yesterday. I'm still writing though, but did get that piece done, and it's called The Finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more so just going to be an encouraging book that we finish our course. We finished the race that God has placed before us. And again, that's kind of what I'm doing, enjoying, making sure people are covered. It's another, I think, another level of ministry for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's being able to share my story, being able to not I go in and think I'm not trying to get the biggest policy for you all. I want you all to have assurance, as well as insurance. And so whatever you can afford, that's what I'm gonna write. Whether it's $20, $30. So I've been enjoying really just really educating us, our community, so that we can GoFundMe. Let GoFundMe be a gift. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where I'm taking it on the next level. What what I'm gonna leave you all with this, what God gave me in the midst of that is my motto is leave a legacy and not a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm doing, writing, hopefully to complete and start back the dissertation about August, hopefully get back in that flow. And I think, me being able to start writing my book, and actually it was birthed on my son's birthday, February 27th of this year. And I was actually ministering to another ministry, women's ministry out of Chicago that day, and what an evening. And it was just phenomenal that God spoke those words, finisher, your winning season. So I'm looking forward to it soon, y'all.
All right.
Yes.
Good, good, good.
Wow, sounds awesome.
All right, ladies. What else? What are some of the other things that you're happy that even though we're in the midst of a pandemic, but this is the good part that's come out. So, what are some of the other things that you've accomplished? Because Rachel, that's awesome.
Well, I'll be finishing. Hopefully, I can get a good grade in this last class. to get my certificate from University of Kentucky in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at the almost at the wire to get that done, and have really gotten serious about starting my business, which I kind of tossed around with the name. And after a conversation with my cousin, I looked up what does balance in Latin, and it was libre. So that's what I named it. So I've got my logo done. I'm working on getting my website up and going. I've got a gig coming up in July. So I'm excited.
Yay.
I'm excited. And I want to write a book, but I'm afraid.
Oh, come on, Latanya. Come on.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Come on, Latanya. Jump in.
Well, the thing about books, I think it's a process, and it's really about how you feel and what you're ready to work on, what you've already worked on, and what you want to see happen next. I believe that once you finalize the business thing and get the logo complete, it'll feel like, oh, that's the next level. You'll start to see the next step. So I think with every step, every leap of faith that you take, you'll start to see parts of that book like, yes, other women, other men need to know about, how to get these gigs. And, so you're in that teaching moment, but first you have to grow as a business owner. So I applaud you, and I look forward to buying your book. And also, I love that title. I'm kind of like her miss. I love that title, Dr. Rachel. I'll go ahead and call it the finish. I like that. That's good. Yeah. I'm on my way. I've published 3. I'm working on my 4th book. In July the 24th, I'll be 40. So every birthday, I try to celebrate with a book. But I'm on my way to publish 9 books by the end of the year. Wow. And the way that I'm publishing books is that I have 13 interns. I'm working with hundreds of clients, but just listening and asking for feedback and aha moments of what I'm actually teaching, that is the book in itself. And so as I'm learning things, I'm sharing, and then I'm also asking for that feedback. And that feedback loop is what keeps this content going. I use my social media page to actually share content and use that content to publish those books. And I think it serves twofold purposes. One for marketing, and then also people get the inside scoop on how I write. So it's like, oh, she write like that. I wonder what it's like to read it. But yeah, I'm really excited about my interns and, just life itself. Working on my marriage. We got to talk about that too. As Black women, had this been any other year, I don't think I would have made it. But this year, it's just, this is the 13th year of marriage. I feel like we have grown as a couple, just working together to make sure we stay safe and COVID free. We survived, and we're all vaccinated. But just maintaining that marriage and then growing with him, I think that's a whole life in itself. But I've managed to stay married. How about that?
That's a good achievement.
Yeah, that's an
achievement. Marilyn, what have you done? What's your accomplishment? Well, how are you feeling about that?
I'm not writing a book, guys, but I am writing a journal. My pastor did this sermon before the pandemic, and it was about what has God done for you. Remember what God has done for you. So my journal is for me and God, and it's called "Lord, Did You Call My Name?"
Oh wow!
And so I started back to when I was born, back in the dinosaur ages, as my kids used to think, and I was born premature when they didn't have all the medical stuff, and I stayed in the hospital for 3 months. So I started there from what I've been told and the things that have happened to the point that I've gotten to. I still got a long ways to go. And so, in that, though, I can remember the big things,
Mhm.
But then there's some little things that I'd forgotten, or some dumb things that I did that God protected me through. And
Mhm.
so that's kind of the thing that is for me. Like I say, everything else has been kind of like for my children, for the agencies I volunteer for, occasionally
Mhm.
for my husband. But that one thing is for me.
Okay.
Sounds like a book in the making to me.
It does. It, honestly, one of the things that Latanya and Renetta Gunn is what Sophisticated Press pulled out of me earlier, and they don't know this, but I'm paying attention when y'all talk to them. Even when y'all ain't talk to them, I'm paying attention. Um, One thing Latanya was telling about how she did some parts of her first book was going back and looking at posts and then building on them and writing a book from that.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting the other day, and this book is probably it's in a couple of different forms coming out of my head. Because one is a book of poetry, and it's about dealing with Rachel. You'll relate to this one, and it was about what I dealt with after I lost my mom in November of 2007. So the book of poetry is The Color Red. And I'm not going to explain to you why I named that, but there's a significance to the color red and revelation that came behind seeing that particular color. And then the book behind it is going to be from Sunset to Sunrise, my journey through depression. And I was thinking the other day, I said, now I already have the content for this. There's no need of me making up anything. And I had to remember, I have about 7 full books, full journals, and I wrote the majority of these between 2007, I think probably pretty much up to 2019. And every last one of them, when I started thinking about it, I bet if I pulled all that stuff of how I was feeling, because it was days that I literally wrote one page, one word on a page, because that's all I could manage. That was all I could feel. Then there were days where I might have wrote 2 or 3 pages because that was what I was feeling. And I started thinking, I'm like, now the time you told you, you already got the book, you just got to put it together. And when I thought about that, I was like, I'm going to pull those journals out of storage because in those years of dealing with my mom dying from 2007 up to 2018, it was just a struggle for me. And a lot of people don't know that. I didn't look like I was going through anything, but my depression was so deep and so dark and so long that I got used to it. And then when I tell you about the color red is what God used to bring me out of it. So it's 2 books in this. One is going to be a book of poetry, and the other one is just a book. It's like a journal or a copy of what I was feeling all those years, and then how I got to the poetry. I put it like that. So thank you, Latanya, for sparking that in me to make me even think about that. The other things, to see what else have I done? I achieved my certification to teach Credit Smart. Got that done. I will finish up a certificate in, I got to read the name of it. Diversity, Inclusion. It's on my wall over here. Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity certificate tomorrow through the University of Florida. And I got this today. Hold on. I got this in the mail today. I don't know if y'all can see that. But that is my film director's apprenticeship certificate. So I'll be able to sit for my film director's license, and I'm gonna study for about 2 months, and I'll take it before September. So that's what I've been doing and cooking. And just so you know, Latanya, the cookbook is in the works.
All right, all right. I don't know why she talking about me or anybody else on this live, honey.
Y'all know we don't know how to sit down and be still. None of us. That's not in the blood. We don't understand that part. All right, y'all. So now that's the good part of what's happening during the pandemic. Now we got to get into the deep dark part of it, which is it's a lot more serious. Like I said earlier, when we first started, a lot of things have happened during the pandemic. A lot of them have been good, and we named some of those good things. So we just talked about us personally, and then you've seen things happening to other people that have been good. But we've also experienced a lot of events that have not been so good. I'm like you, Latonya. I try to avoid the news because I get triggered, and when I get triggered, it may last me a couple of days before I can calm down about certain things. We all know that every time you get on Facebook or you get on any social media, you are bombarded by a video of people that look like us, men and women, sometimes children, being murdered or abused or something that's going on. Matter of fact, I saw one earlier today that ticked me off, which means I had to get off social media again today. Um, let's talk about how some of that stuff is affecting us. And I'll tell you, just recently, this is a good thing. But even though it was a good thing, something bad happened seconds before we got that good news. But let's talk about the Derek. Is his name Derek or Eric? Because I've been calling him Eric.
It's Derek.
Derek Chauvin. Let's talk about
It's
that verdict.
Derek.
Yeah, let's talk about that verdict and how did that make you all feel? What went through your mind um, after watching that video over and over and over again? I actually prayed for those jurors because that's a lot, and it's a lot for anybody. But what went through your mind when you heard the verdict read?
I was actually surprised.
I think
I
a
was
lot of people.
surprised.
I wasn't surprised. I kind of thought that they would do a guilty.
Mm-hmm.
He is their sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And only because it was so publicized, the length of it, the video, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Everybody almost, well, I won't say but a lot of people in the world saw that video.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a quick, shooting somebody or anything like that. So I felt like he was going to be the sacrificial lamb. And my concern will come, excuse me, with the sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see what kind of sentence he gets.
Exactly.
5, 10, 15 years for me is not enough.
Nope.
I want him to do the maximum. Will he get it? I don't know. That's where I'm nervous about, is in that sentencing. Yeah, let's see how sacrificial the lamb is going to be.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
What the rest of you all
Some
think?
people think, sorry.
Go ahead.
Some people think that this is a changing point. I do not, however. I kind of agree with Sarah. I think they almost had to find him guilty. And I think they needed to find him guilty. But I was also glad they found him guilty because I had a feeling that if they did, I knew in my gut that if they did not find him guilty, people were going to tear this country up.
Yeah.
And not only did people protest and complain in this country, they did it worldwide almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the United States, already with the UN, the United States has a reckoning that they're not facing because of the way that brown and black people in particularly, are treated in this country. And so I think that would have just made that even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they found him guilty because they almost could not find him guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, Marilyn.
Yep. What the rest of you all think?
I wasn't surprised at all either. Seemed like right after that, still something else happened. So we have come a way, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And so now, like you say, I'm waiting on what will be the final of that. How many years of that's one concern. Be guilty, and then what's the payment on it?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, did y'all see today where his attorneys found an appeal for new trial?
Really? On what
I didn't,
ground?
but I heard about it.
The one of the jurors, black guy, was at a march in D.C., a march for or a rally for Dr. King. So I guess it must have been in January. So he's got his Matter shirt on, whatever. And somebody or somebody's from the Floyd family spoke at that rally or that march, whichever it was.
Mhm.
So the attorney is using that as a reason for for a new trial.
Wow.
Saying that the guy had written, I guess, on his paperwork when he was going through the voir dire process of when they was picking the jury, that he had not been to a march or any rally or anything about Floyd, and said today that it was not about Floyd. It was a to commemorate Dr. King is what he went to. Were his words.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but you kind of almost knew that something was going to come. You knew that somebody was going to challenge it. I just feel like that. You knew it was going to.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to try to do something. Cassandra, what do you all think?
I guess when I said the surprise part for me was that I've seen so many other things that have happened that were obvious, and it was like there's no way around this, and it's not been. And then they get off. That was the shock for me that this time they finally got charged as guilty. So that was the surprising part because it was almost like it's not going to happen again. And so that was kind of like, oh, wow, it did. So that's what was so surprising to me because I've seen so many other cases where it was just like obvious that this was murder. This is what happened. And had it been a civilian or someone else, they would have been charged with it. And then that law enforcement officer got off. So for them to find him guilty on all 3 counts was a bit shocking for me.
Yeah. What about you, LaTanya?
Well, 17 years in public health, racism is a public health issue. It's something that I have been working to eliminate in my own way. But honestly, I'm an optimist. And like I said, I try not to watch too much news. But I was actually surprised at the verdict. And even when I heard them bring up the exhaust pipe, I was like, what in the like they tried everything to get like I was just like, oh my God. I just knew it wasn't gonna work out and we were just gonna break out, we meaning Black folks, and just gonna break out and rise, and it was just gonna go downhill. But one of the things that I tried to teach my clients, my interns, is that racism is a public health issue and it is a system. And I've been doing a lot of work on systems thinking. This is what, if I challenge any of you who's listening to this and all of you ladies, research and understand systems thinking. And a lot of us are talking about these books. Books are one way that we can help to educate. Not everybody likes to read books. Some people prefer movies, podcasts, live shows. But what we're doing with these books is really educating our community and showing them another form of Black excellence. And so instead of watching the news, I always encourage us to make the news and do something positive so that our people can see, like, oh my God, LaTanya, she crazy. She writing books. Like, what does she got to show? Like, it's like everybody's doing something unique, and we're not all sitting around like, oh, white people, they win. And, I've tried that. It doesn't work. And so what are you doing to disrupt the system? And so this systems thinking mindset is really why I have over 40 programs and 20 of them generating revenue. On the 14th will be my last day in my day job. I'm taking a year off to just work on me. So just doing things that I think that will matter the most. That's the only way we're going to change the situation. Other than sitting around complaining, it's not going to change.
That's true. I appreciate that. And I guess I'm one of the folks that I was surprised, but not surprised because, like you said, it's like it was so much evidence they could not find him guilty. I mean, somebody had to be sacrificed for it, like But Sarah, I'm exactly like you. Show me how serious you are when the sentencing time comes. Because again, I totally agree. 10, 15 years, not enough time. If it were a civilian commit murder, they get life, they get death, they get all this other stuff. I want to see how serious it's going to be when it comes down to the sentencing part of it, and that way we'll know if it's really going to be how effective it's going to be. And right before that sentence was read, a young lady was shot to death by the police, and then that caused another uproar. And then I think in the past week or 2 weeks since, you had 3 other shootings. I think it's 3. I might have lost count because I told y'all I watch news, and then once it starts up again, I have to stop watching them. But you have all these other shootings going on. Then you got to think about, let's hit this one close to home because y'all we getting down to some time. All of us live in or around Little Rock or in Central Arkansas. What do you all think about the serial killer, that we're supposed to have in Little Rock? Now that was interesting because one of the things that I watch on TV is one of you all, does somebody have their TV or a radio or something on in the background? Because I can hear background noise. If you have your phone or something on, if you don't mind, turn it down for just a second. But one of the things that I watch is I like true crime stories. And usually I'm watching something and the serial killer is always someplace else. So when I was sitting there watching the news the other day and they talked about Little Rock got a serial killer, I'm like, hold up, they got a what?
Right.
So what do you all think about that?
I missed that. Huh.
You missed that? Oh my
was it on the news?
Yes. It's been all over the news for the last week or so.
The guy that's going around stabbing people.
Yeah, it's been 4 stabbings. 3 people have died and 1 person survived.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for, they have a picture. They've shown a video and it looks like a very tall, slender African-American man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been around in like the neighborhoods around 12th Street, around I think the one that survived was 19th and Marshall. I had them all on my phone.
And one was dead on the bridge at that Wright Avenue Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cemetery. Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world is going on? So what do you all think about that?
I don't even know what to think about that. I was surprised as you were when I said it because I'm a true crime girl too. And so to hear that happened here, and I'm like, what? Are they serious? Yeah.
Yeah. Now the first rumor I heard, and it was on Facebook, and I think they disproved this one, but it said that there was one in Hot Springs, and I
heard that too.
Get out of here with that, and I went no, and then the next week I think it was like, oh, it's in Little Rock. I'm like, wait a minute, is he traveling? Is it the same one? Not making a joke about it, but I was, wait a minute, is it really one in Hot Springs? And is there another separate one in Little Rock? And where I work, and y'all know I don't leave home without being locked and loaded. That's just me. And I'm gonna always be locked and loaded. And I suggest y'all get so also because not only not just for the serial killer that's going on, but people are crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
And you all see in the news, we get attacked as much as black men do. And folks think it is open season to walk up and slap black women or treat, do stuff to us. So I'm always locked and loaded, and I just will forever be. But that one threw me for a loop because I'm going, wait a minute. You mean
does he have a type or what? Or
that's just it. I mean, I don't even know if the police have said he has a type. It was just this, and then he's been choosing people randomly.
Right. Someone was saying that he was targeting homeless people because of the hours that he's doing is like between 1 and 4 a.m. So they say he's walking up on some homeless people that are sleeping like outside and just stabbing them. I don't know how true that is or not, but I haven't seen like a profile of any specific person because there's been men and I think the woman was the one that survived and he stabbed her like 13, 14 times.
Yep. So it's interesting. I tell you what, it makes you be even more aware of your surroundings than usual. You start paying attention to where you are, who's around you. I've always wondered why people rode around with their windows down in their car. That is just the oddest thing to me. And that's from I know that's strange, but I'm just saying, why are you riding around with number one, why your doors unlocked? Not saying a man jumping in cars or anything, but this is the same thing.
But they might.
But yeah, he could. Why are your doors unlocked and why your window down? That's just crazy to me. I'm in the car. My car is like a fortress. My doors locked, my windows rolled up, and I'm locked and loaded. Okay? Betty is right there with me, and Betty got brothers in her, so she
You
ready.
gonna take me? You gonna take me gunshot? I mean,
Yes,
shooting
ma'am. We
practice
sure will. Oh, let me
for
tell you,
real.
if you all are interested, and this is a shameless plug. If you all are interested and you're not sure about how to shoot, my husband a certified trainer, and he can train you. So if you're
Okay.
not, yeah, so if you don't not sure about how to use it, then he can teach you how to. If you want to go gun shopping, he'll take. Ooh, no, let me X out that word. Y'all didn't hear that word. Uh, Betty shopping. You want to go Betty shopping? We go Betty shopping. So that way you can find something that you like, and that way you're locked and loaded and you're protected. But that just, that was one of those things that made me just go like, wait a minute, y'all. We got a serial killer running around here.
I remember that when it's time for me to get my license renewed, because I'm with you on that.
Got mine right here.
Locked and loaded. I hear you. I ain't mad at you, honey.
Where my purse at? We're showing cars, though. Let me see.
Mhm.
Mine
Got
is in
mine
my
right
purse.
there.
It's way over
Y'all
there.
gotta help me.
Mine.
Y'all gotta help me.
I gotta help me. Oh, we
Help
got
me.
when you ready, honey. We ready to go. I'm with you.
Right here. Locked and loaded legally.
Could be in the
Yes,
car with a
ma'am.
license.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be talking about God to take care of you guys. Taught me how to shoot this gun.
Look, God's real. I'm like, my dear, you want to keep some peace, keep your piece of steel. And I say that jokingly, but I'm really serious about that.
Yeah.
And I remember when, if you all remember back a couple years ago when the realtor was murdered,
Mhm.
I think I texted or called every person I knew, every female that I knew that was a realtor, insurance agent. And I'm like, Rachel, I've been an insurance agent for like 14 years. And I've been in some areas where you didn't go without Betty. I've been in some houses where they didn't know, but Betty was with me. I don't go anywhere.
He said, "Baby."
Betty was right there, honey. Betty wrote as many policies as I did. So, but I didn't go places that I didn't feel comfortable. Sometimes you go places you don't feel comfortable. I feel like that. So you need to have a way, to protect yourself. Even if you have a taser or you have pepper spray, you need to have something, and you need to be trained on how to use it. So that you come home safe. Because I always tell people, if it's a choice between me and you, I'm going home. I don't know what's going to happen with you. I'm going to the house. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and as women, even though we're adults, we still have to be accountable. Let somebody know. My siblings and I and my mom, she would come kick the door down. She ain't heard from us. We still let her know. I text her tonight. Look, don't call my phone. It's set between 7 and 8, and because you may not get an answer, because she'll be over here knocking on the door and calling everybody. Y'all seen Sonya? Anybody talk to her? So we still have to be accountable and say, hey, I'm going so and so, or I'm back at home. And that, we live in a society where we don't want people in our business, but you need somebody in your business, because I want somebody to know where I am, who I'm going with, that I made it to my destination, and that I made it back safely. So let somebody know where you're going, and even if it's just, hey, I'm gonna run to Walmart, I'm back at home, because they had crazy up there too. Right. So let somebody know where you are to hold each other accountable.
Somebody made a post on Facebook the other day about, I don't care how grown you are, let somebody know where you are, because there's too much going on in 2021.
Right.
I was like, amen. You need to let somebody know where you are at all times and what's going on. Because you know what, and this is going to be something I'm working on in the future too, is I've always been really interested in, now this is going to sound strange to say it this way, but it interests me when you see a lot of missing people. And thinking about, the first thing that people tell you when somebody disappears, oh, they're grown, they ran away, or they just don't want to be found. That's not the case. Everybody is not a runaway. Right. Everybody's not walking away from their lives. People don't just get up in the morning and go, I think I'll disappear. That's not how this thing happens.
Right.
When people know your pattern and you have friends that you contact on a daily basis, or people see you on social media, we know you're alive, or you have family members that you're in contact with every day. And when that changes, that alert people like, hey, this is not her regular thing. This person calls me every single day. I get a text every day. Or I know that on this day she's here from this time to this time. And when those patterns are disruptive, and you gotta go, hey, this person hadn't checked in a couple of days. One of the first things that people are gonna ask you, well, what's their normal pattern? What do they do? So I'm totally on that one saying, checking in and making sure that people know, where you are, that you made it to your destination, that, I'm one of those people that if I go someplace and I feel uncomfortable, I will leave.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit, I'm not gonna hang around, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I tell my husband, I tell him, the only way you gonna catch me, you gotta chase that car. I'm serious. I'll run over. If it's between,
I think too often women don't go with that intuition, that gut feeling.
Yeah.
When the gut tells you it's time to
go.
Yeah, it's time to go. Yeah.
Right then and there.
We get real comfortable and
I move, honey.
Our senses and things. One morning when I was still working, I'd gotten to work. I had my computer bag. I had my purse. I bought breakfast. I was sitting there at the car trying to get it all out. And this guy walks up on me. And he's already right at me before I even see him because I'm so concentrated on whatever else I'm doing. Well, a couple of weeks before that, my husband bought me a taser. And it was in my car. But it was down in the bottom of the armrest thing. I couldn't even use it if I don't want it to because I couldn't get to it because it was down there. I couldn't find it. And the guy was already there. So we got to be vigilant. And I do ride around with my driver window down in the daytime one.
I do too.
Excuse my expression. But anyway, so we got to be vigilant. And then my daughters and I have one of those apps that lets you know where people are. So we use that. I don't have a gun. One and I have been talking about it, and then I found out my pastor, who was a lady, and her husband are both licensed to carry. So he has offered to work with me to get a gun. So, like you said, Sarah, about some people say God will protect you. Well, if the pastor's got to buy guns, then maybe we ought to buy them too.
Well, I think, Marilyn, I just think it's just, God gave us good sense. And I think a part of that good sense is, using things the right way, to protect yourself. And I'm like, wonder if it comes down to me and you, and I have any opportunity for it to be you, then it's going to be you. Because I got little grandkids stuff to be counting on me. And and they cute and all that good stuff, smart and everything. So I need to be, where I can watch them do what they do and all of that,
All right, well, go ahead.
I was going to say we have to make our children accountable too, because sometimes we're so busy trying to be their friends that we don't try to check on them. I have two boys, we're young men, they're 27 and 18. And my youngest one will tell you, Mama, you want to know where they live, what kind of car they drive, who are their parents? I sure do. It's my job to spy on you and to keep you safe, because everybody is not your friend. And if something happens, I need to know who the last person you were with, where were you? So you need to be where you're supposed to be, because I'm subject to pop up to see if you really there. So we need to hold them accountable. When they say they going to so-and-so house, you need to know where so-and-so live. I need to know your friends. I need to lay eyes on them. Don't come saying you going somewhere with somebody I ain't never heard of. Because I'm going to investigate myself and find out if you don't tell the truth. So we need to hold them accountable and let me know where you're going, when you get there, when you get back. I need to know all of that.
And folks don't understand that we are natural private investigators anyway, because we're going to find out.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't no such thing as a secret for no black woman. We can find some stuff out now.
So you better tell me before I find out. Because if I ask a question, that means I probably already got the answer. So you might as well tell me.
Tell the truth.
Right.
All right, y'all. We're actually over an hour, so let me get just one last.
Well, you're gonna have to make this show 2 hours. Yeah.
Not as long as we want. It don't cost us. Shoot. Unless y'all sleep. Look, you talking. But let me ask you this. Now, we know all this stuff has happened. So, what do we want to see for the rest of 2021? What's the good, bad, and the ugly, or the rest of 21? What do you want to see happening?
I want to see some peace, some prosperity, some blessings. I want this crime to stop. I want us to be able to come together instead of fighting against each other. How are we going to expect anybody else to treat us a certain way when we're not doing it within our own community?
Now, see, that's shouting stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you so much. It's you know, I was in a conversation on Facebook the other day and yesterday actually, and these two guys were going back and forth about Africans do not like African Americans, and the African guy was saying Americans don't like Africans. And so, I mean, first of all, it's petty, okay? So they going back and forth. And I scrolled by, you know, and I had to go back and I scrolled, went back, and I said, you know, you all are going back and forth. I forget my exact words, but essentially, you all are going back and forth about which continent of people dislikes the other continent of people, while the oppressor is still oppressing.
Right.
You know, how are we to come together as a people when you all are, you know, back and forth on this petty stuff? Oppressor, they still doing what they do. They still oppressing us, whether you on the continent of Africa or whether you on the continent of the United States. I mean, you know, the Americas, whatever.
Wow. That is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. I've heard that conversation before, or that argument before, and I'm going, that is the craziest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
When you don't like me because I'm black, but I don't like you because you black, but we from technically the same place, but because I'm here and you, yeah, it's crazy. I've heard that argument before too.
And then the one guy that was saying the Africans mistreat the African Americans, he ain't never been there.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so his point was not made. Ladies, what the rest of you all want to see?
I think for me, I really am looking for really 3 things. One is just getting some rest. Like this whole pandemic has been about sitting still and being mindful of just setting boundaries, and not only setting boundaries but enforcing them, but just resting. I don't think Black women have really had a time to rest, and I don't know if all of you have been able to experience remote work, like cleaning up your house and just like because Sonia was talking about just organizing your closet, like just getting your life together, like for real. I look forward to us continuing this and making it a part of our routine lifestyle. That's one. The second thing is studying and researching procurement. Like government contracting, procurement. I wish, 17 years ago when my mama gave me her best advice, get you a good job, baby. Get you a good man, baby, and get you a good education. And that was the best she could tell me. And so I said, you know what? Government, like that's secure. I'm going to go with that route. 17 years later, I'm just now finding out there are 11 levels to government contracting. And I've been able to experience 2 out of the 11. So I'm really looking forward to more Black women and just teaching others about how to get these certifications and how to get some government contracts, because I believe 90% of the Black woman's issue with like problems is money problems. Is 90% is just money problems. Once we eliminate our money problems, we can deal with our family members. We know how to tell adults, go sit down somewhere. mind your business, take care of yourself. We can't do that. And so I really want us to really look into this government contracting procurement. And then the third thing is writing books. You know, if we could just be honest, write if it's a journal, Miss Marilyn, write your journal. Get your work out there. And somebody said who said that? Legacy. It's all about legacy. Once you die and they cash in your insurance policy, you got a book, like that's royalty for the family, you know.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
get with Rachel about you some insurance and live your life. But I think we got so much stuff we can be doing that ain't so much messiness. Like, and I think the pandemic has revealed so much to us. So government contracting, focusing on just organizing your life and setting up that systems thinking mindset in your personal life, and then just really focusing on getting your coins together through government contracting. 11 levels, y'all. Write that down. 11 levels.
Oh, we're gonna do a show and you're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. That's like
that's what I was getting ready to ask.
Yeah, we'll do a show
do
on
a
that.
class on how to do that.
Yeah, we need to, because I didn't know, and when I found out, I got mad. Like, somebody should have told me this. I got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, 17 years of public health experience. Why am I just now figuring this out? Like, somebody should have pulled me to the side and told you ain't got to work so hard, girl. Like, read these laws and get into these woman-owned small business certifications so that you can get these little sole source contracts. $200, $300. Do you know what that do for a family of three kids, 10, 5, 4, and a husband? Like, I'm trying to sit down somewhere. I don't want to work all my life. No, I'm not trying to work till I'm 65. I'm 40 and I want to keep the same. You see that?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to. No, y'all not gonna kill me. Like, no, I didn't work for the state, and no, I had to leave. No, can't do it no more. So, yeah, we finna get into some government contracting, y'all.
All right.
That's our 2020
right.
too. Yeah.
I need to talk with you, Miss Latanya.
Let's go, Miss Sarah. Let's go.
Hey, you know I'm with you, Tanya.
All right. What else do you all want to see for this year? Who did I miss? I did Marilyn and Rachel. Did you also talk?
I haven't yet.
Well, I kind of like what everybody else has said, and it's like the whole world is gone crazy. I told my husband, I wish whoever the HE double hockey sticks is playing Jumanji would quit because they're wearing us out. So, but Wonder knows, just like Sarah, I've been looking at this business thing for several years, and we wrote up a plan, and I moved a little, and then I didn't move anymore. So I really need to get back on that. And the business, the government procurement thing, I have really wondered about that after I found out that the beauty.
Miss Wanda, we gotta do a show. Do you hear her?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, let's do it. Starting your LLC, like, we need that. Like, that's information. That's basic information. Going to the Secretary of State office and filing the name. And I would say, starting the business is all about that name. Black women have the hardest time coming up with a name. And I always tell my clients, do your grandmama name backwards.
Something. Yeah.
Big Mama, name backwards, and throw that together. And you want it to be something that's totally broad, because in my business, I have over 50 programs. 20 of them generate revenue for my business. And so you want to kind of capture something broad so that when you turn in your government contract paperwork, they're like, oh, okay, it's not just resume she does. It's an enterprise. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to file, you're going to start, you're going to grow, and you're going to scale. That's 3 levels. But the hardest part is getting started with filing the LLC. Do that for me. That's your homework. By the next time we talk, everybody needs to have filed their LLC so they can get with these government contracts. That's
so you can't be a sole proprietor and do a government contract. You have to be an LLC.
So you can do it as an independent contractor, but for what I'm doing, the purposes for my services, I have an LLC. There's actually
Okay.
5 business structures. So Ms. Wanda can
Right.
pull you on that as a former SCORE business. I think she's a SCORE business veteran counselor on the structures. But for me and mine, what I'm doing, I have a limited liability corporation. And so, yeah, that's just a basic, basic business license just to operate.
Yeah,
Now,
I have an LLC now from when I think Wanda remembers when I was trying to get that travel business going.
Yep.
And so I thought I closed it out. And then I got a letter saying I owe some money. And I'm like, well, I closed this out at the end of the year. But anyway, so I don't know if I still have it or not. But with this business, I wanted to do, I guess I still need to file with the state as a sole proprietor.
We will have a show and we'll walk through all that stuff because, like Latanya said, it's actually pretty simple. And choosing your business structure is like one of the first things that you do. And it's what it is you're trying to make sure that you're protecting yourself personally and your business. So yeah, that's why we'll walk through the business structure stuff first, and then get you into the naming and get you into your filing and get you on your road. And once you do, it's so many, like she said, there's so much stuff out there. And I'm like you, Latanya, as far as long as I did this and I started counseling way back in long time ago, it's so much new stuff in the market that's going on. There's so many contracts floating around.
Oh, and let me tell y'all this about these books. Let me tell y'all this about these books now with government contracting. This is what Black women need to know. So, my first book is Tools for Career Success. A lady found me on the internet. Wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. A lady found me on the internet. She was like, "Oh my God, we want to buy 100 of your books at $25 each for a government contract." Don't y'all know that was $2,500 flat fee on some books that I wrote using the internet.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So this government contracting and writing book, it's gonna go. We trying to retire early.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, amen.
So
Let's
teach those
look
classes.
it up. Everybody needs.
Y'all, we just started a whole new show.
Okay.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
A whole new show.
But that's our way out. That's like that's the only way out to get some
information. But definitely we
You're
will
showing out, Latanya.
and talk about this because there's so many women right now who actually need this information while we're down. And that's one of the things that we had talked about, I think, in the first sister way back, I think last year, where we talked about while we're down, while we're in the pandemic, here's what we should be doing. Getting certifications, getting your business started, writing your business plan, writing your book, starting your travel business, doing all those different things that when we're working a full-time job and you have to get up and go in from 9 to 5 or whatever time frame, you don't have time to do that. If you're working in a remote setting now or you're working from home right now, this is your time to blossom. I'm like you. When my business can exceed my paycheck and I have some surplus, then I can retire and I can work how I want to work and I don't have to stress and strain about it. I'm in the process. I don't know if you all know of have ever listened to Ashley Ann. Oh my God.
Yes.
When I say fire, if you're trying to get it, go get it. Because I'm trying to tell you.
Who?
So,
her name is
Ashley Ann King.
Ashley Ann Jones.
Is it? Okay, yeah, that's right.
King Ashley Ann.
King Ashley Ann. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you have not ever listened to her, she's on her page is Club Social. It's Club.
Yes.
And it's Club Social. Yeah,
Club Social.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a K. But look her up on Facebook and just follow. She does a whole lot of free training. Wonderful, great information for you to take and to use. She's a millionaire. She's made it the hard way, and now she's telling people how to work their way through a lot of things. So, monetizing your Facebook pages, monetizing your social media, how to build your products, all this stuff. The last couple of weeks, I've been subscribing to different things to where I can do my books online. I can do my workbooks I'm doing. Everything that you want to do is just right in front of you. You just got to know it's there and then jump on it and start working with it. So we will definitely have a show on getting some women started in business because this, if there's ever been a time, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. I mean, if you're not,
I've been thinking about doing talk show, radio show, podcast, or something.
Yeah.
That would be a good format to start with. You know, building. You know, my first guest would be Wonder Lowe and Latanya Bynum.
Okay, let us know when and where.
Yeah, bring it
Well,
on.
like I got a format going on.
Yeah, let's bring it on. Hey, I'm all about some podcasts because it's like I don't have to repeat myself, and I can send that to all my clients and say, "Watch this. Look, I don't have to teach you again." So that's what the purpose of the books is, so you don't have to repeat yourself.
Exactly.
You say the same thing over and over.
I need to bring the Rachel's Lucky Show back. I'm thinking about podcasts. I'm thinking about podcasts. I got somewhere to go out. Just trying to see the right timing.
Yep. I got my podcast already set up. Got the page already set up. Look.
See.
Wait a minute.
That's my help right there. That's my help right there.
Can you see this?
You got the equipment.
I got all my equipment already. It's just now finding the time to work on that amongst the other 15 things.
And that's a tax write-off. IRS publication 535. That's a tax write-off.
Okay, thank you.
The equipment for the podcast, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be doing that. So now we just started a whole nother show, and this 120. 120. We've been on an hour, almost an hour and a half. Definitely enjoyed y'all, and
it's been productive.
Yes. So we must do this more often. I think now we'll do sister check-ins, and they'll be an hour and a half long. How about that? Because we got a lot to say. We have a whole lot to share. And I'm excited because, like you said, the rest of 2021 is all about getting yourself together. Get yourself together. Get your coins right. What I can't remember who says this, but get in the bag. Getting your stuff together. Looking at creating a legacy. And not only through Marilyn is becoming an insurance agent. I'm an insurance agent. Rachel is an insurance agent. But making sure that you're doing those things in place to where we're going to make, a lot of people don't get that, getting insurance or don't understand how it works or how they need to be protecting their families or their property, anything else. So that's the whole show in itself for us to come back and maybe talk about that later also. But I just want to make sure and just tell all of you all tonight, thank you. I have immensely enjoyed this show. And I hope that anybody that watches enjoys it and they get some information that they can use. Again, like I said at the beginning, the purpose of the Ladies Lounge is just this. And it's to empower women, to educate women, and encourage each of us to live our best lives. And I think that the conversation tonight has hit on all of those things and then some. So I have so enjoyed you all. Do y'all have any tidbits or any really quick little jewel that you want to drop for anybody that's watching and for them to say, let me take this and run with it? So give me a take this and run with it point. All right, everybody talking once.
Two words.
Gave them all.
2 words from me: systems thinking and procurement. Research it, learn it, master it, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, Latanya, you put me up on game." That's what I would want you to know.
That was more than 2 words, but okay.
Gotta give them 2 for 3,
Okay, anybody else?
Well, I'm going to go back to the safety thing on staying safe and being aware of your surroundings and being accountable, not only for yourself, but for each other.
Amen.
My 2 words are don't stop. Because at my age, a lot of times I feel like, you should have done this 10, 15, 20, even 30 years ago. I know I don't look that old, but yeah, I can go back 30. But just don't stop. Just don't stop. Just don't stop.
Never too late.
All right. Miss Marilyn?
Listening to Sarah, the only thing I'm thinking about some of these young people. I was thinking about Latanya as well, because I know several young ladies that have started little businesses. So I'm thinking, boy, if they could tap into this now. So
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Miss Rachel?
Well, just stay encouraged in this season. Stay around positivity and like-minded. If you're the smartest one in your group, then you need to move around. You need to add to. And then if
That's
you the
right.
and then if all in the group broke, then you sure need to find another way. So I'm just being honest.
No, that's
But
true.
this is the time to save, because we're not able to do a whole lot. So you should be saving something. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So but stay encouraged.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna steal my husband's phrase, and
What's that?
it's been on this thing for the last couple of weeks, and it's do something. That's it. He just says do something. So
Right.
that's what I'm gonna leave with y'all tonight, and leave with the audience. Do something. Whether that start your business, write your book, do a podcast, start your own talk show, start a new exercise plan, start cooking with me online, whatever it is,
I gotta do that.
do something. So
Uh,
again, y'all, I appreciate you ladies so much tonight. If
Wonder.
you have, yes, ma'am.
Can I give two more wonders real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know why I didn't think about this, but I don't know how long back it's been, a year or so. God put the words life imagined.
Mm.
And I tried my hand at painting. I wasn't real good, but anyway, I painted a thing.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I'm gonna hang on my wall, and it says "Life Imagined." How do you imagine your life?
Okay.
What you? So those I take back. Don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine.
I like that. I like
Life
that.
imagined.
She just all over there visiting. But anyway, thank y'all. Hey, if you have not liked the page already, please go over to our Facebook page and like, follow, share the video. Make sure you find us on YouTube at the Ladies Lounge Wonder Lowe. Also, subscribe to the page and hit that little bell so you get a notification whenever new videos post. Ladies, again, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Stick around for just a second when we finish because I want to take a picture with everybody. Marilyn, turn that down.
Yeah.
Marilyn out of here.
You know what? I ain't mad at her.
Damn.
She didn't turn off the camera on her.
You say y'all kept her too long.
No.
She wanted to get on her computer to
Can
research
y'all
her
hear me?
human.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't see you though.
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't know how I turned the camera. Yeah, but I don't know how I turned the camera off. So.
That's
And I don't
okay.
have my granddaughter here to help me.
Okay, well, it's okay. We know what you look like. But thank
So
you.
y'all have to get the picture and just imagine them there.
There you go. I'm gonna have to Photoshop you in. So, all right, but thank y'all
Yeah,
so much.
that's a good idea.
Thank you all watching tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week. I have another great guest for you. I do not remember. Oh, next week. Oh, let me just tell everybody this before we go. Happy Mother's Day if I don't talk to you before then. Happy Mother's Day to any women that might be watching. Hope y'all get some good stuff. If you know how to work this thing right. Always use the stretch marks. If y'all got stretch marks, hey, let's go. Use them. Give people. Show them. This is where you did this to my body. Oh, you owe me gifts. So
There she is.
I'm
there
back.
you go. Use your stretch marks to get what you want. But I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the week. We're going to do something. We're going to life imagine. We're going to get busy. We're going to write books. We're going to just get out here and go after it. So I hope that everybody has a good Rachel. She over there just real talk. Hope you try to have a good rest of the night.
I'm sorry.
We can hear you. Yeah, we did. We heard everything, girl. We telling everybody. No, I'm just joking. We ain't heard that.
Because I wasn't too good. Praise the Lord.
See,
Right.
turn the mic off. Anyway, thank you all so much. We will see you again next week in the Ladies Lounge at 7 p.m. here Tuesday night. Again, thank you all. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna
All
get
right, guys. Y'all be safe.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Thank you.
Good
All
night.
right.
I love what she said. Don't stop.
All right. Keep it going. All right.